afternoon, ladies, and welcome to the Rend College Foundation's Wilma Guy High Tea. It's wonderful to have you all here today as we gather as a community to celebrate connections and the incredible work being done here at Rend College. So we get a reading around the room, how many of you here are Rend College graduates? How many of you may even attended Mount Vernon Community College? Raise your hand. That then became Rend College. How many ladies here work here at Rend College? So welcome everyone. As you can see, there's a lot of involvement within the community with Rend College, and then it's so nice to see my coworkers here as well enjoying today. I want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, Apple Aesthetics and the Republic of Tea, whose support today makes today possible. So before we get started, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Rend College's executive leadership team members who helped shape the future of Rend College. So please welcome Lori Ragland. If you just want to wave, you don't have to stand up. She's our Executive Vice President and future Rend College President starting July 1st. We also have our Kim Wilkerson. She wasn't able to be with us today, but she's the Vice President of Career Technical Education and Student Support, and Kathy DeJarnett, she's here today. She's our Executive Director of Administrative Services. We also owe a huge thank you to the talented RLC culinary students who have prepared the delicious high tea food we're enjoying today. This is part of their curriculum, and they are under the expert guidance of Chef Jeff Fairbanks and Chef Daniel Brock, if they'd come out and show themselves. They're not showing themselves. Okay. Well, I'll introduce you at the end to them as well. Curtain call, Jeff. We'd like to take a special moment to recognize the leadership of the Mad Hatters today. So please join me in thanking President Terry Wilkerson, John Goley, the Vice President of Finance and Auxiliary Services, Vice President of Institutional Effectiveness, Chad Koppel, and Dean of Maintenance and Facility Services, Donnie Millenbein. Donnie stepped in for Buster, one of our executive leaders, because he was ill. So I just feel blessed that we could all come together, that the weather held out, and that everybody here is healthy. So I appreciate everyone coming and everyone pulling together to make this possible. Also joining us today, straight from the Rend College Foundation, is Jessica Jakonich. She is our Assistant Director of Rend College. Christy Rich, our Business Office Accountant, and Dawn Johnson, Major Gifts Officer of Rend College Foundation as well. So as we step into Wonderland here today, we can't help but reflect on the journey of education our students here at Rend College experience. Like Alice stepping through the looking glass, education is an adventure, a world of possibility and curiosity and self-discovery. It's about embracing new challenges, gaining knowledge, and finding their own path. Much like Alice, our students may not always know where the road leads, but with each step, we open ourselves to new opportunities and growth here at Rend College. And now it's my honor to introduce our president, Terry Wilkerson. Mad Hatter Wilkerson.
Okay, well, welcome to Rend Lake College. It's my pleasure to welcome the group again. I get invited to welcome to the high tea. I never get a chance to drink any high tea. That's okay. We were sampling some in the back. We're considering maybe basement beer and low bourbon for everybody. So just a thought. I mean, it's part of my exit strategy, really. I'm just here for 4 more board meetings after tonight. Or maybe it's just tonight. I don't know. It depends on how it goes. If this gets out, you never know. At any rate, thank you for what you do for our institution. Thank you for playing along and doing things that support our students and support our mission and being a part of our community and incorporating your life into ours and into our kids. So with that, we'll exit stage left, and I'm supposed to introduce Kathy. So Kathy.
Thank you, Terry. It is my pleasure to recognize our sponsors for today. I'd like to start first with Apple Aesthetics. Dr. Christy Fosser and nurse practitioner Christy Kelly opened Express Care in 2013. They have a strong belief in serving our community. Together, they later launched Apple Aesthetics, which offers a full array of aesthetics and weight loss services. So joining us today is nurse practitioner Christy Kelly, nurse Mitzi Neal, manager Michelle Featherstone, and business manager Amy Hutchison. And I would like to welcome Christy up to say a few words.
Thank you. Well, many of you guys probably recognize me from the Express Care side, because that's where most of you usually come. But in the last 5 to 7 years, we kind of had a vision to start Apple Aesthetics. And we offer a wide variety of services. We have neuromodulators from Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin. We offer multiple amounts of filler. Hyaluronic acid and calcium hypoapatate are the 2 different types of filler we offer. We have multiple different types of skin resurfacing, such as the skin pen and plasma pen. Both of those are wonderful treatments that will just make your collagen just boost. Let me think. I really didn't think I was going to have to get up here and speak, so you'll have to forgive me. This is just kind of on the fly. We also have a couple lasers. We have the TrueSculpt laser, which helps emulsify the fat in that area, and it also shrinks the fat. And so when you get that treatment done, they say up to 2 treatments of a TrueSculpt lose up to 24%, which is consistent with the liposuction. So that's something, bikini bodies are coming here real soon, right? That's something that we offer. The other thing that we do is the Zeo laser. Our Zeo laser helps with laser skin resurfacing, as well as hair removal. We can do a lot of hair removal with that. Let me think what else. We also have skin pen, which is wonderful. We do chemical peels as well. And we just launched our plasma pen, which is, it combines with the oxygen and the electricity in the wall and creates a plasma ball. And it forms a carbon crust under your eyes, and it just really can make your skin overall look wonderful. We do have a basket that we're giving away. There will be, someone is sitting in a chair, and we'll announce that a little bit later, I do believe, and you'll be able to win that basket. But feel free to have any questions, anything you want to know about it. We've been doing this now 8 years, and I think Mitzi's been doing this for 18. So we've got a little bit of knowledge, and we love what we do, and we love to make everybody look pretty and make you feel good about yourself. So anytime you want, come on down. We'll be more than happy to see you.
Thank you, Christy. Next, I would like to recognize Republic of Tea and thank them for their sponsorship today. Founded in 1992, the Republic of Tea enriches people's lives through great tasting, premium teas and herbs, education, and innovation, emphasizing a sip-to-sip rather than gulp-to-gulp lifestyle. Melissa Meyer, Minister of Progression, has been with the Republic of Tea for over 11 years. When she is not working, she is studying to receive her doctorate degree and enjoys gardening. Melissa, would you like to come up and say a few words?
I've got to use my phone because that's how I live. So I've got notes down here. So first of all, before I forget to do this, because I'm bad about that, I want to thank Carrie Grabowski. Carrie, if you could just stand. Carrie is our office manager at the Republic of Tea, but she's also pretty much my life manager. And without Carrie, none of this would have been possible. So Carrie coordinated just the philanthropic activity, made sure we had the right stuff here, got me here on time, and did all the great work behind the scenes. So thank you, Carrie. So yeah, I work for the Republic of Tea. We have unique minister names, which is part of our charm and our quirk at the company. But in layman's terms, I'm the Chief Operating Officer. And so we work out of the Nashville facility, and I like to tell people we have this little gym in Southern Illinois. So what you may not know about us is that we're located in Nashville. We were founded in California, and our home office is still there. We have offices in Boston and St. Louis as well. But primarily, the most employees work out of Nashville, Illinois. And so we import teas and herbs from about 85 different countries in the world. And we have about 400 different recipes, and we make tea. So how fun is it that we get to share the gift of tea all the time? So I could talk about tea forever. I'll try not to do that today. But I did want to say, just a few things about the health benefits of tea. Also, I did want to thank Rend Lake for the opportunity to do this. We love sharing tea. And we talked a lot about, part of our mission statement is that we value education. And we value education for our employees. We value education in how we bring tea to the world. And so this is a really nice fit for us from just a community outreach. It's my absolute pleasure to come here and do these sorts of events. So I just want to thank the college for the work that you do. I think this is a critical piece of community education. I saw how many hands went up in the room. I myself started my education at Kaskaskia College because that's the district where I live. So I think community education and colleges of this size are playing a critical role, and they're also helping to drive down the cost of education, which I think is critically important right now for everyone. So it's a value that we share. So again, thank you for having me. We really appreciate it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about tea. So you've had the chance to taste some of them. Anything that's left over at the end of the night, please take it home. We want to share tea and share tea with your neighbors or whoever you want to give it to. We love that. So tea is probably the best thing about tea is it's packed with antioxidants. So when you drink tea, one of the primary things that you're drinking is what we like to call things that combat oxidative stress. So you've probably heard before about free radicals and that they're bad and you need to combat those. Tea is a beverage that can actually help with that. So when you drink tea, because of the polyphenols and the L-theanine, you're actually getting help through antioxidants that are going to make you more prepared to fight these free radicals. So you can enjoy this beverage guilt-free. It really, truly is good for your body. We also like to talk a little bit about something we call tea mind. So when you drink tea, even though it has caffeine, it's much less caffeine than what you typically would consume in a cup of coffee. So when you drink tea, your body metabolizes the caffeine in tea differently than it does with the caffeine in a soda or coffee. So it's typically the uptake is slower and it's more steady and controlled. So you can have a cup of matcha at 8 o'clock in the morning and it'll give you a slow, steady energy, until about mid-morning, whereas coffee, not to vilify it, coffee's also healthy for you. We don't hate coffee, but we don't drink coffee, no. But really, it does give you a nice, slow, sustained caffeine release. So it's very good in terms of how you can regulate. And even if you're sensitive to caffeine, then you can go to more of an herbal infusion, or we like to call those tisanes. and you can enjoy it caffeine-free. So the only products that we sell that contain caffeine are anything that actually has the tea plant in the name. So if it says black tea, green tea, white tea, anything that says tea after it, that has caffeine. The only other product we have with caffeine is anything that has natural cocoa in it. So cocoa naturally has some caffeine, and mate, which is something we source from South America, that also contains caffeine. But we have about 50% of our catalog that doesn't contain caffeine. So if you truly want an herbal infusion that you can drink, if you are sensitive to caffeine, we have that as well. The other thing about tea that I think is really great is, and it's really timely because it's February, it's Heart Health Month, tea's great for your cardiovascular system. So some of you today are sipping on our Blue Butterfly pea flower and hibiscus blend. It's called Daily Beauty. It's the purple cup, if anybody's drinking that at your table. So a long time ago, we actually supported a study regarding hibiscus, and we found out through the scientific study that if you drink hibiscus, it actually does help lower your cholesterol. And it's also really good for blood sugar control. So we do have the scientific validation to say that. So hibiscus is a really good choice for people, and it doesn't contain caffeine. So if you're sensitive to caffeine and you want something that helps cardiovascularly, hibiscus is your tea. Hibiscus is naturally very tart, so we have to put something in there to make it a little more palatable. I would liken it to if you ate a cranberry with no sugar. So we do typically, you'll find our blends have either a stevia leaf in them or maybe a sweet blackberry leaf, something to just take that tartness away, or we'll pair it a lot of times with a fruit or another herb. Another thing tea is great for is relaxation and wellness. So there are many teas that you probably already know this, but there are things that can actually aid in getting a better night's sleep. So we have a few of those, but primarily, whether it's our company or somebody else, if you look for things that are sleep promoting, you're going to want to go more toward the herbs. Obviously, you're not going to drink caffeine, but you can enjoy chamomile, valerian, lavender is great for sleep. So, we offer things like that as well so that you can help promote sleep. We always recommend, I have a tendency in my day to start with the biggest jolt that we have, and I kind of work my way down. So usually by about 2 o'clock, I'm switching over to herbals, or maybe even drinking, because who doesn't need more water, right? So maybe I drink a little water in the afternoon. But it is really good. Super, don't let someone tell you it doesn't work. It does work. But you have to combine it with getting off blue light at 8 o'clock at night and keeping your room cold and doing all the things that you have to do. But tea is very, very healthy. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about adaptogens. So I don't know if you guys have heard about adaptogens, but we also sell infusions that contain adaptogens. And what adaptogens do when you drink them, so you may have heard of things like ashwagandha, tulsi, rhodiola. Those are super healthy. When you drink those, they pretty much help your body reach homeostasis. So I know it sounds weird, but it can help you. The same tea can help you if you're really stressed out or if you also have no energy. Those are, they have properties in them that basically just help the mitochondria of the cell to reach a happy place. It's probably the easiest way to explain it scientifically. So we do carry several of those. And some herbs, we have to really make them taste good. So we put a lot of fruit and other things in there. But I would just say give them a try because they're very good for you. Lastly, and especially this time of year, we talk about immunity. Everybody wants to boost immunity. So we have a lot of offerings. And again, just check any company. It doesn't have to be us. We just want you to be healthy. So we do a lot of offerings that have things in them that help actually boost your immune system and or naturally have antibacterial properties. So for instance, we have some blends that contain clove. And we have blends that, clove is naturally an antibacterial. It's why when you go to the dentist, they sometimes use the clove sticks or the clove oils. It's because it's naturally antibacterial. So when you drink an infusion that had cloves in it, it's very healthy. It's really good to promote gum health because you're swirling it in your mouth a little bit. But also in terms of boosting immunity, you guys have probably all heard about echinacea. So we have stuff with echinacea in it. And then elderflower and elderberry. You guys have probably seen the sambuca and the other, sambucol in the store. So we also have elderberry tea, which helps. Not sambuca. I don't know that that helps. That's an alcohol. I don't know that that helps you. It might make you feel better temporarily. There's something for everybody, I think, is the kind of the message here. Lastly, and probably most, I find it sort of interesting. So there are also teas that can help detox, and they can help in many ways. So there are things that we can put in tea that actually help get you going a little bit. If you need help, like senna or other things that are naturally help your intestines a little bit. There are also things that we can do in terms of just overall, like liver detox and other things. There are herbs that we can put in there that actually help. And so anytime you see our teas that say get clean or detox for something, those are going to help a specific function, and it'll typically talk about that in the description. And then lastly, there are actual studies about this. So in other countries that prioritize tea, like Japan, for instance, England, obviously, it's very culturally appropriate. So where tea is prioritized and where people actually take the time to prepare tea in the true ritual of tea, it's a mindful practice, and it actually is meditative. So if you go to Japan and you have the opportunity to actually participate in a traditional Japanese ceremony, I will tell you, coincidentally, you can actually go to the University of Illinois on the campus. They have Japan House, and you can actually do a Japanese tea ritual there. So they can do the whole ceremony for you. It's a lovely experience. But when you do the ceremony, because of how you concentrate on the preparation of the tea and how you focus on the steam and the billowing, and you really are mindful about what you're doing, it actually has meditative qualities. And that's why the Japanese still do it 2,000 years later, because it's very healthy for you. So overall, I can't think of a bad thing to say about tea. Even if I didn't work there, I've always loved tea. So I'm very lucky that I found this career later in life. But having said that, I appreciate the time today to let me share tea with you. And most importantly, I hope you learned a little bit more today about tea. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you.
Thank you. I learned a lot about tea. I appreciate that. So while you're here, make sure that you stop by our sponsors' tables and talk to them if you have any questions. So we truly feel blessed that you both were here today. So now's time of the program that I want to introduce our guest speaker. Dr. Deanne Schnautz is someone who wears a lot of hats and loves every minute of it. She's spent years in education as a teacher, a school administrator, and now as a trainer for future teachers at SIUC and a coach for school leaders through her company called Spur on Us Services, LLC. She also has a deep love for worship and women's ministry, whether leading music or sharing encouragement at events. When she's not working, you'll probably find her outside in the garden, traveling to new places, singing, lifting weights, or even barrel racing, because why not try something new? And one of the best things happening in her life right now, she recently became a grandparent for the first time and is soaking up every second of it. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Deanne Schnautz.
Thank you so much.
Last week, I was in Naperville, Illinois for training that I needed 2 days of training to help me with the work that I do with educators and educational leaders. And it was 2 days of training. It can either be really great or it can be really dull. Okay, and I think maybe all of us have had training like that before, haven't we? But I have to tell you, this training was incredible. And by the first break, I had already decided, I'm really curious about this presenter. She's presenting in her cowboy boots. I like that. And she's from Oregon. I like that. My sister lives in Oregon. So I decided at the break, I'm just going to say hi very quickly because I know how breaks go. She needs to plan. So I just said, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. This is very helpful for me. Thank you so much. And love the boots. And my sister lives in Oregon. Which part do you live in? And then on a whim, I said, do you have dinner plans? And she thought for a minute, and she said, actually, I don't. Let's do it. And so that night, I got to spend 2 hours with this really fascinating woman and got to hear all kinds of things about her life. I learned at least 5 things, like where she lives, what part of Oregon, her past endeavors in education, her present endeavors in education, where her boys are in college, and some of her vacation plans. And finally, she also talked about her future plans in education. And it was really exciting to me. Here's what I want to tell you today, that being curious sometimes brings with it and creates opportunity. And because I was curious, even though in the back of my mind I could hear myself saying, I hope she doesn't think I'm an idiot. Anyone ever thought that before? I hope she doesn't think I'm some weirdo. But I thought, well, if she does, she does. That's not really any of my business. I'm still going to tell her she's doing a great job and ask her. And I did, and I'm so thankful I did because I learned something that I would not have learned because I stepped out of my comfort zone. In Alice in Wonderland, I don't know how many of you have ever watched it, read the book, or anything. Do you all care if I just stay over here for just a sec? Okay. So, aren't these books fun? I just think I love the vintage look of these. And Alice in Wonderland is so interesting, and I reread it and watched the movie and listened to an audio recording just to kind of absorb myself in it. And one of the craziest quotes that's hard for me to even quote is when Alice says, she says, it gets curiouser and curiouser. Can you say that? It gets curiouser and curiouser. Okay, well, what is she talking about? I don't know about you, but this journey into this part of my life has been really interesting, and it gets curiouser and curiouser, for sure, but I'm grateful for it. As human beings, I think that a lot of us are curious, just naturally, but there comes a point in time in our life when either we've been made fun of, someone said something negative to us about something that we're interested in, and we just kind of step back. And we decide, maybe I'm not going to be so curious anymore. Did you know that according to the National Institute for Health, that in kindergarten, well, actually, I guess preschoolers, 98% of preschoolers are considered creative geniuses. And if we've been around little ones, it's one of the things I love about them the most. They can look at a piece of fuzz on the floor and be fascinated with it for a long time. But the sad thing to me is that by the time they get to high school, only 12% are considered creative geniuses. And what do you think? By the time we become adults, what do you think that percentage, do you think it rises or do you think it drops? It drops. What do you think? Anybody? 5%? 2%. Yeah, by the time we reach adulthood, some of being actually like genuinely curious and just a genius at creativity, it drops dramatically. And there are lots of reasons for that, lots of different reasons. I'm going to stick this here and I'll get it back in a minute, okay? There are a lot of reasons for it, and I don't know all of those. But Sir Ken Rollins did a lot of research on it, and I thought it was pretty important. I know that one of Amy Newell's favorite quotes is this one. Well, whoops, I went ahead of myself. Here's the other piece. 70% of adults have imposter syndrome. And I don't know if any of you have ever suffered from that before, but I can tell you I have. And it's really sad because sometimes we think we're either not enough, we're not good enough, that maybe our ideas aren't that great, or we feel like a fraud, when the truth is that we're not. And I want to tell you today, all of you, use that creative genius that you have. Use it. And if you start thinking, oh, my time has passed, it's too late for me to try something new, just get out of your own way, out of this whole imposter syndrome. Don't worry what other people think, and just move forward. Now, on to one of Amy's favorite quotes. This is another key piece to our journey. The secret is to surround yourself with people who make your heart smile. The secret, surrounding yourself with people that make your heart smile. My little mama's here today, and she probably doesn't like me calling her little mama, but I do. Mom, wave. And one of the things that I appreciate about her, I won't tell you her age, but she just had another birthday. And she's still playing piano for church and picking out, like, learning brand new worship music and teaching it to the worship team and doing her thing. And I love it because she's like, oh, well, I might as well. And so she keeps on keeping on. And I'm really, really grateful for that. The thing I want to tell you, too, is that I just want to encourage you that you can reclaim your curiosity. And because curiosity builds opportunity, and through that, we get these beautiful relationships. And the other thing I wanted to say, the NIH had some studies about our brain, and creativity actually opens up just the learning pieces of our brain. It's why so many teachers are so excited about all of the new brain research that's out there, and why they're always trying to figure out, how can I engage my students more deeply? So I'm looking back in the back of our culinary folks, and I'm looking at our media people back there, and we thank you for all the hard work and everything you've done for us today. It was phenomenal. Let's give them a hand. And so I'm going to say, we're going to imagine, I don't know any of your stories, so when I say these things right now, I'm not referring to anyone back here, okay? But I want us to imagine for a minute, if we chose curiosity this afternoon, imagine if we really leaned into it, to hear the stories of our culinary students. What brought them here? Why are they here? What's their story? What's their dream? Our media, the guys that have been helping me with media today, what are their dreams? What do they want to do? What brought them here? Was it someone that encouraged them along the way? Was it someone that helped them with tuition? Is it a big dream that they have? Is it a single mom finally reaching out for her dream? Is it a mother going back to school after raising her kids? Or is it a young man who's dreaming of having his own food truck? Or is it a retired woman starting her second career because she knows in her heart she has so much more to give? Imagine if we started building relationships with those we know, and not just with them, but the people that we meet. Being curious about their story. Being curious about who they are. I want to tell you that it is not too late to be curious and creative. It's not too late for you. I don't care what stories people have told you. that you're either not enough or your ideas stink. That's not true. Let's be curious. Let's learn new things. Let's move forward. And it may feel like, you may not feel like your story is worthy to be shared, but it is. But in order for us to be able to tell our story, I think it's really important for us to be curious and learn about other people's stories. It's one of the reasons that I love to travel. It's why I love to meet new people. I love to see how people, not everyone lives like I do. And that's a really good thing. Not everyone does. And that's fine. And that's okay. Because some of you are doing it really, really well. And I have lessons that I can learn from you. And you're not an imposter. In order to be curious, you just have to start asking questions. And maybe the first one that you can ask is, tell me more. Can you repeat that one with me? Tell me more. I think it's one we could write down and have it ready and just talk to someone and say, be curious about them, be curious about their life, be curious about our students here, be curious about Rend Lake College and the foundation that they have here. And just start asking questions. Amy, tell me more. Tell me more. Because when we go down that rabbit hole, we might be looking for one thing, but we get off on a tangent and we find something else, and we are there for a while. And we come out of that rabbit hole having learned so much more. And maybe we didn't accomplish what we first set out to do, but it's still good because we've been curious and we've learned so much more about something else. I want you to know that there may be someone in here today feeling like an imposter. You're not. And so I don't want you to feel that way anymore. But, maybe some of you are thinking, I want to help out here at Rend Lake, but I don't know how. I see my friend Hillary here. And maybe you're like, I've been wanting to get involved at the museum, but I'm just too afraid to ask. And we have the people at Legions here too, and I had the chamber here. They had a meeting they had to get to, and there are so many other people here. And the church family here from Ms. Guy, which is so cool. We all need help, don't we? We all need people, and we're curious about their stories. Let me move this. So I just want to give you a few points of interest that I think as we move on and as we kind of close out our day, I just want you to get curiouser and curiouser, or the easier way to say it is more curious, about meeting new people. Sorry, I'm finagling these things. I also want you to step out of your comfort zone and take curiosity with you. I want you to carry that spirit of curiosity with you as you leave this afternoon, or even before you leave. Get to know somebody at your table. You may even work with them, but you don't really know them. Ask questions and get to know them a little bit better. Follow up with someone that you met today. Follow up. Maybe you can support or mentor someone. I know when I was a principal, we were always looking for safe and effective mentors and volunteers to come in and read with our kids. We needed safe people. We needed that because we just didn't have enough arms. Our churches and our church families, we're always looking for someone to help out with something. And all of our local organizations are the same. So step out of your comfort zone and do that. And also just seek out those opportunities to mentor someone, to be there for someone. Like, I love having friends that are older than me because they've been where I'm going. And they have advice that I need. Now, I may not choose to do it exactly like they did, and that's okay, but I still want to know my options. It's just like my friends ahead of me who have said, aren't you on hormones? I mean, it's like, oh, can you do that? Yeah, you can. And is it too late to travel where so-and-so? No, it's not. And I love have friends who are younger than me because things are different than they were for me. And so I want to hear their viewpoint. I want to see where they're at. And sometimes they want me in their life too because they just need a shoulder or they need a hug from someone that's like a mom to them. But let's be those people seeking out those opportunities, being curious about what's going on, getting out of our comfort zone, stepping away from that imposter syndrome, and just consider how you can be a part of the Rend Lake College Foundation. They're doing important, good work here. So think about, maybe that's an area that I want to do. Get curious about the students. I bet there are students here who maybe don't necessarily all live in our area that may need a warm home-cooked meal sometime or would just like a card of encouragement. So ask around, see how you can help. Also, you might want to attend one of the college's events in the future. And after today, maybe you can tell more people about this foundation and all the work that they're doing and the generosity of Miss Guy and the legacy that she's left behind. Ladies, I look around here and I see amazing women. I know some of you, and I know that I'm proud to be your friend, and I'm proud of the work that you're doing. I mean, I'm just amazed. And all of us have a story. All of us have one. And one person's story is not better than another, but let's be curious about those things. Let's step away from being an imposter. We're not. Let's just move forward and surround ourselves with those kinds of people that cheer us on, that straighten our crown, that talk about us behind our back in a way that they would not be embarrassed if we overheard. Let's be those kind of women. So, as we close today, I just want you to repeat one more time after me. I want you to repeat this one first. It's curiouser and curiouser. Let's try that. Great. But here's the big thing. Our curiosity creates opportunity. And as we, like Alice, get curiouser and curiouser about the people around us, about what's happening in our communities. I mean, let's face it, it's easy to stay in and watch Netflix all weekend. It's kind of fun because you don't really have to do anything. But if we can get out of our comfort zone and move on into the community and find out what's going on, because as we get curiouser and curiouser, and we stay curious, because the connections and the opportunities that we're able to find may be looking at you already at the table that you're sitting at today, if you just get curious and you just ask. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee. That was nice, the kind things that you said about the foundation and the college. So, ladies, as we come to the close of this wonderful afternoon, I just want to take a moment again to express my heartfelt thanks on behalf of Rend Lake College and the foundation for everyone who was able to attend Rend Lake College's Foundation's High Tea in honor of Wilma Guy. Your presence and participation truly make this a wonderful event that we look forward to every year. I'd also like to take a moment again to thank our sponsors, Apple Aesthetics and Republic of Tea, for their incredible support of this event, and also for our guest speaker, Dr. Dee Schnautz, for sharing her insights today. We're grateful for your time and the inspiration that you brought to our gathering. Could Chef Jeff Fairbanks and Chef Daniel Brock, please bring our culinary students out one more time for a round of applause. Did they take off? That's Chef Jeff, who was avoiding us earlier, was busy, so wave hi. We appreciate our students. Actually, they have 4 students in this class, and 2 of them were out sick, so they had 2 other students help out, and then they also stepped up to provide the amazing food today, so thank you very much. I sincerely hope that each of you had a wonderful experience today and that you found a little bit of your own wonderland here at Rend Lake College. As we reflect on the magical journey that is education and community together, I'd like to leave you with my favorite quote from Alice in Wonderland that speaks to the heart of today's event. And it is, "The secret, Alice, is to surround yourself with people who make your heart smile, and it's then and only then that you'll find Wonderland." So I appreciate everyone coming out. I hope everyone stays healthy and well. At this time, I'd like Apple Aesthetics to come up. They have a goodie basket that they want to give away. So if you would reach under your chair, one of you has a heart under your chair, and you will be the winner of the